APG Jamie here, and today we're going to make this little booklet, and we're going to make some tags to go in it, and we're going to promote the hashtag for art joy of sharing, JustJoin, hashtag JustJoin, y'all. Guy. Y'all, it was a day. It wasn't today that I made this. This was a couple days ago, okay? Okay, let's just get that squared up right now. So, I started on this project. It's been on my list. But anyway, I started on it. This was my 4th time. Because the first 3 were like, no, that's not working. And no, that's not working. I wanted to use, I had it in my brain, and y'all know how stubborn I can be. Maybe you don't. Okay, let me inform you. Today's voiceover day, so of course, I'm washing dishes, multitasking, okay? And now the battery on the laptop's charging, so now we got that going on. And it won't be long before my phone probably goes to chirping in on us too. Just saying. That's how professional I am. I want you to know in advance. Anywho, I was just had it in my head. Excuse me, goodness gracious, who knew that was coming? Everybody. That I wanted to use envelopes because this is going to be a share along, pass along, tag along tag thingy. Okay, I'm going to send it to a surprise person, and hopefully they will send it to another surprise person, and so on and so forth. Like that. So I thought I would use envelopes, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Okay, y'all. And I just couldn't get them to get together properly, and then I got one to work, and wouldn't you know, there's the phone, and wouldn't you know, I tore it. So I'm like, no. And I wadded them up, threw them in the recycle bag, and stomped in the house, and Molly and Champ were all like, what's wrong with you, Mama? What's wrong with you? And you know how they wag their tails and they'd be all happy because you're just, looking at them and junk. You know how fur babies are. Anyway. So I took a breath, and I'm like, all right. It's no big deal. Why am I trying to make this harder than it is? So I rummaged through my painty paper pile. Actually, it's in a box. Well, some of it's in a pile, some of it's in a box. Okay, y'all just keep watching because we're just gonna have a little story time. Okay, because it's a long video. So I'm rummaging through, and I'm like, well, if I'm gonna use painted cardstock, because it's cardstock, y'all, I at least want it painty on both sides. Typically, when I'm doing mono printing, I don't painty on both sides. Okay, I just don't typically do it. I don't like to have to make a choice between one side or the other, because sometimes I love both sides. But I found this one, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna use this one. All right, just take it, cut it, fold it, and bam, it'll be done. It was almost that quick. Okay, makes me wonder why I fiddle farted with that with the envelope stuff. Envelope, whatever you want to pronounce it. So you saw me using the bone folder. Guess what? It's not a real bone. So I'm essentially going to be using a stuff pile. Y'all know how I pile stuff up? Well, take my word for it. I pile stuff up. I use scraps and stuff like that, and I get Happy Meal and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, look at the phone. See, phone chiming in again. We get junk mail, and I'm like, oh, I like those words. Ooh, I like this picture. Ooh, I gotta have it. Ooh, another box. Yay! Some of y'all understand, some of you don't. And that's okay if you don't. But I can suffer in my wonderful, enthusiastic hoardedness. Treasure is. Anyway, so I have this piles, boxes, baskets, whatever, y'all. It doesn't even matter, does it? No, it doesn't. So we're going to use that, and I have die cuts in there from trying out dies, make sure they work, and then I cut stuff, and I'm like, no, I don't like it, and oh, that's pretty, I'm not going to throw it away. That's not going in the recycle bin. Surely we can use it for a cluster, or a tag, or a piece of Happy Meal, or something, because we just cannot throw it away. It's the teeniest, tiniest of scraps if I toss it into the recycle bin. Or I really think it's hopeless. Like those envelopes, they were just way too far gone. Just saying, way too far gone. You're going to have to trust me on that one. So I have die cuts, and I happened for this particular one, it was fresh die, fresh. So I had the actual paper still, stuff on my desk. So we die cut some letters for our hashtag JustJoin. Because that's what it is. It's a JustJoin tag, but tag along, Happy Mail. Pick one, make one, and share them. Okay? It's going to have the instructions in. In fact, it already has the instructions in. In fact, it's already been mailed. Just saying. No, this is not card lottery. All right, this is not. Oh, we're going to put a coat because I use sticker Desiron on the letters. We're going to use a coat of gloss varnish because that's the varnish that's currently on my desk. We're going to use a coat of that over the top to just help seal those letters and corner pieces. Aren't they pretty? Unbranded dye. No hate mail, y'all. Especially don't email Dee Dee. Anyway, we're just going to paint that over. And my nose is just ever so slightly running today, y'all. Apologies. That and clearing my throat and dishwasher running and phone chiming in and computer fan running and, next thing you know, the dogs will be barking. No, don't say that. Anyway, I was fiddling with that pile of treasure. It's a pile of treasure, y'all. And that, I had a larger circle, and it fell out in that cut out sculpture thing, wherever it came from, y'all. Okay, fell on top of it, and I'm like, that's beautiful. So I rummaged through that pile, and I found that piece of gray paper, and I'm like, serendipity at its best that day, mostly, okay, other than the envelope. Well, no, that was the day before and the day before. So, it's kind of like, I really did start this. Like, this was like the number 4 time. It worked, finally. So, anyway, the circle was way too big for the card, so I had to cut the circle down, which I still have that other piece over there. Y'all might have noticed it upside down. Maybe not. Doesn't matter. It's a pile of treasure. That's just a portion. She says shyly, she looks away and taps her foot and rolls her eyeballs. That's just a portion of my pile, y'all. Oh, don't worry. This did not come from one of my scuffs folder, which is studio cleanup folder stuff that's been semi-organized into folders. No. This is what the new pile from. Any hoots. We're going to use that there. I just call it burlap ribbon stuff because for lack of knowing what I don't know what it is, y'all. It's burlappy, stringy, ropey stuff, ribbon. We're going to put it on the back of that. Now it's a tag, y'all. Tags don't have to be a perfect rectangle. They don't have to be a particular color. And you know what? There's really, I could have stapled something on there to have the little floofy, because tags theoretically sort of mostly have a little floofy thing on top. She usually ran through the little hole, ribbon string ran through the little hole. with or without a hole reinforcer on it. Just saying. Gonna drink some tea right now. Anyway, use Fabrifix. I thought that might hold it bestest. I don't know. What was there is what I grabbed. So I have this piece of denim. Probably came in Happy Mail. I'm pretty sure it came in Happy Mail. And then I have these fabric strips. Because I was squaring up a piece of fabric, and when they cut it, it might look straight, y'all, but it's not straight if you do the rip test with the grain of the fabric. And I have kept most of this fiddling, farting, and thumbing through stuff in here because some of y'all have been curious. I can't tell you why I pick one thing over another. I don't know if it's a color or a texture or a range of colors or I don't know, y'all. I'm like, yeah, I like that. That's how I choose. No, I don't like that. Yeah, I like that kind of thing. Okay? The more you play and piddle around with this kind of stuff, the more your creative side of your brain will kick in, and it will let you know that works, even if it only works for you, because that's really the only one that matters is you. And I'm like, okay, I need a word on here, so I pull out my word box. Excuse me, y'all. Previous video, 2020, December 26th, Boxing Day, pretty sure. Still kind of new, y'all. I'm so sure. Any hoots. I lost what I was saying. Who is surprised by that? Molly, you're not surprised by that, are you? Anyway, instead of finding a word, I found like a whole quote, and I couldn't pronounce the feller's name. Gustav something, or something Gustav. I don't know. Okay, but his name is on the quote, and we can see it during the photo montage. Anyway, if you just play and don't put yourself under so much pressure, as in, I want to use envelopes, I want to make an envelope booklet, la 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 la. No, your little creative muse is like, we're not going to do that. Well, that's not what we're going to use. We want to use a piece of painty paper, so we're just going to keep messing up. We're going to have your fingers mess up and fumble around, and we're going to break your hole punch. No, it doesn't get broke. I fix it. It just kind of gets wedged up. Y'all know how it is. Just be careful when you're trying to unwedge them. Anyway, your muse be all yapping at you. You may or may not hear it. And if you just let that go, that's not working for you, just take a breath, let it go, walk away, and go, okay, what's an alternative? It's okay to have an alternative, y'all. Okay? It is. And I do recommend this. Putting your hoarded treasure bits on your desk and go, this is what we're using from. This is what we're using from. Your creative muse would be like, oh, yay, we get to play. It's kind of like playing in a sandbox. Instead of sand, you have paper, I would say ephemera, but they're kind of usually the same thing. You have faux silk leaf flowers and stickers and who knows what else is in that pile. There's ribbons and fabrics and buttons. No, I don't think there's any. I usually keep the buttons separate. Excuse me. Might be a paper clip or two in there. Anyway. And just start putting treasures together. And you end up with something beautiful. Unexpected. Unique even. Okay? Just saying. And just because you don't like it doesn't mean somebody else won't like it, because I can just about guarantee you within our community, within our art and community, okay, especially on Art Joy of Sharon Facebook group, plug. It's not shameless, it's on purpose. Phone. There'll be somebody else that's like, oh, I love that, because I've had people, I've seen people post projects and pictures and stuff, and I'm thinking, dang, I wish I'd have done that. And they're saying, they're not so sure about it. And I'm like, dang, I wish I'd have done that. Wish that was in my art inventory hoard. This is true, y'all. So sometimes when I open Word box, because sometimes I feel like I want to put a word, not all the time, just sometimes, and open up my Word box and I'm just thumbing through my little strips of self-printed words in funky fonts and stuff. The perfect word just jumps out at me. It practically slaps me in the face sometimes. It's like, this one's the one we're going to use. And I don't know why, because this fellow got the word snap. Why? Why did this feller? Because it's feller, y'all. I'm just saying it's feller. I don't know. It's a feller. It's old rock sculpture or clay sculpture. I don't know how old it is. I don't know how big it originally was. I cut it out of something. Pussycat, because I like cussy cutting. Anyway, not all the time. I can only do it for a while. So we put a shadow under him because, I didn't want him just floating there. And he's saying, snap. It's funny. I have a funny bone. Okay, so I want 4 tags in here. I'm making 4, and the person I send it to will get to pick one, and then they're charged with, okay, because I charged them. I'm like, okay, your mission. Well, I didn't use the word mission. Oh, that should have. That would have been funny. Anyway, I asked them to make a tag and stick it in there. It just has to, be able to fit in there and be flat for mailing purposes. Okay. And then they can pick somebody off a list. Well, I don't know what, the random act of kindness list from our group. Sorry, it's a group thing. Y'all can do this in your own groups. Anyway, and mail it to them with a blank stamped envelope. This way, you're not putting the monkey on their back, entirely, because they will need to send a stamped envelope to the next person and so on and so forth ad nauseum. Okay, and that person will also get to pick from 4 tags, and they will be able to make a tag and slip it in there and trade it out for the one they want. Okay, and it will just go like that perpetually, infinitely, until someone's like, nope, I'm not doing it. Thanks for the tags. Have a good day. Because that could happen. And I have to be okay with that. And the person that sends this out will have to be okay with that too. Because that does happen. Okay? We can't expect everybody to play. And we can't say, y'all are not playing ball today because it's my ball. You just, share your art. What is it? The Alaskan prepper guy. He's so funny, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen. And he says, reach one, teach one, and repeat. And I think that is so cool. Anyway, I like that about him. And ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, not necessarily promoting him. I'm just, filling time here, y'all. Y'all know how I'm a chatty face. Maybe you don't know. Surprise. Any hoot. It's sort of a game that I hope the players that are chosen to play, whoever you may or may not be, or maybe, I don't know, will play along. It shouldn't be too expensive, especially if you're using your stuff pile. Your scrap pile like this, because tags don't have to be a particular size. They do have to fit in the tag booklet envelope thing. They kind of do have to fit in that, so I guess that's a rule. They can't be real thick, so yeah, that's a rule too. But other than that, whatever, people. And they can be simple, and they can be fussy, and they can be simple. They can be fast. It's like, just don't put them in there wet, because wet glue. That's sorry, y'all. So any hoots, I decided to round the corners on this one. It just could be inked. It just may not be inked. They don't have to be. This one's got a notch out of the side of it. It's like, I don't know, but I like it. I'm using it. Sort of like the envelopes, only better, because it works. I'm like, we're going to put a paper clip in there. It's a perfect spot for a paper clip. Why can't a tag have a paper clip? Is there a law out there that I'm unaware of that says tags cannot have paper clips because it's a tag? So there you go. So that's got to sit over and dry because I put a lot of glue on it, and there's a notch missing out of it, so it's it's got to dry. And I see that lady's face. She's off of a book cover, dust jacket, and I'm like, I like that face. So I pulled her out, and I like the bird, and I'm like, oh, I like them both on this here color of scrap paper. That's more scrap paper, painty paper, y'all. Cardstock. Tags do, you don't want to make them out of just plain paper because, they can be kind of flimsy like that. Blah, blah, blah. Now she's making up more rules as she goes along. Cussy cutting, y'all. Now, this bird is on a skinny, super skinny stick branch, and it's got berries hanging off of it. Now, to me, they look like cherries. Are they cherries? I don't know, because there's really no leaves on this branch. There's just these cherry looking things. Okay, I like them. Oh, when I was a kid, y'all, it was an old family thing. They would make pickled cherries. I know it's like anyway, they'd make pickled cherries, but I think this started out, I don't know for a fact, I don't know. They were barely blushed cherries. They weren't red and all deep and sweet and all that junk. They were barely blushing cherries. Maybe it happened when they got pickled. I don't know. And they would pickle them. And they had the most uniquest flavor. And I loved them. I would eat them till they made me sick. Because we would find them in my great-grandpa's cellar. That means, you know what that means? That means his wife, great-grandma. I'm not exaggerating here, y'all. Great-grandma would have been the one to make them. My mother would be so upset. You stay out of that cellar. It's dangerous. We don't know. It could be botulism. We don't know. No, I never heard the word botulism. I don't know. Because probably by the time she realized I ate them, I'd have probably been sick from botulism. But, back then you died. Well, now, with botulism, you die. Usually. Anyway, different subject. We don't want to get to. So I didn't like the face on there after all, and I was going through these paper dolls because y'all know I love me some paper dolls. As you can tell, I own a few packages, and I separated them out into these dollar store pencil cases, zipper case things, to size sort of mostly. Because sometimes you need teeny ones, sometimes you need big ones. Anyway. And I found one. I was going to put them standing underneath the bird, and I'm like, no, because then all them bird droppings would just be dropping on them, and that wouldn't be nice at all. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see if we can find one to sit on this bird. Let's go to ride this bird. And I did. I found that little baby one. Y'all know the one. So anyway, I'm like, but he needs wings. Is it a he? I don't know if it's a he baby. Evidently, it's a he baby now because I call it a he. Translucent wings. No, there's in the description box below the video, okay, there'll be a link to the Facebook group, Art Joy of Sharing, and also a list of ingredients for your curiosities. I couldn't really list all the die cuts on account of I was using leftover piled up stuff. Okay. Yeah. Except for the alpha letters that I used on the journal cover, because those I knew because I made them specific. All right. So the baby's getting wings. He's going to be riding the bird, and we got this whole little quote typed up. Yeah, I'm a word collector. I'm a poet. Okay, just running on. You'd think I had too much tea today. Hot tea, drinking hot tea. It's good stuff. as a poet, I collect words. Some days I'm like, oh, I love that word. I have to write that word. They're just common words, y'all. They're just everyday words. Most of them's everyday words. Some of them are not so much, but most of them are. Now I come across a quote I like, and I'm like, oh, I got to put that in there. So I put them all in, in a document. And I usually, have like a whole line of just that word. And I change it. I print it in different fonts. Sometimes I change the color of it too. Sometimes, not too often. And when I get a whole 8.5 by 10, 8.5 by 11, what size paper it is in the U.S., whatever, I print it out. And I usually do print it on cardstock because I like cardstock a lot. Anyway, just telling you everything there is to know about me in this. My first video of the year. Oh, also, this is in celebration of my birthday. It's kind of like a gift to others. Okay? My birthday's coming up. It'll be Sunday. It'll be my 3rd anniversary of 20 years old. Or it could be considered the 2nd anniversary of 30 years old. Something like that. It's a big O birthday, y'all. Big O birthday. Matte medium, because the bird is a magazine piece of paper. Well, magazine weight. I don't know that it came out of a magazine. I don't know where it came from. Its own little thing. Piece of paper up, cut them out, you saw that. Higgins, y'all. Not a whole lot of that in here. Anyway, pressing on. I think this is our last tag, and we're about halfway through the video. Not really. Well, it's less than 10 minutes to go, so that should help you out. Anyway, when y'all are doing art pieces, tags, or artist trading cards, or artist trading coins, or clusters, or page edges, or tabs, and you're sharing it, cards, maybe greeting cards, do some of us a favor. Put your name on the back so we know where it came from, so we know who made it. Now, for this particular project, I want your name. It can just be your online name. It doesn't have to be your real name, because, APG Jamie is not my birth name. Jamie is, but APG is not. Anyways, in the city and state you came from, because it'd be kind of fun to see where this here traveling tag booklet JustJoin thing goes from here to there. Just saying, because it'd be funny, fun-ish, traveling. Yeah, why not? Tag along. And the date, because maybe this will go on until 2015. Oh wait, it's past 2015. Oh my gosh, I really am having a 3rd anniversary. Anyway, this could go on till 2030 or longer. It could go on well past any of us. It may even go past the time of postal service. I am using a 2-ounce stamp because it is kind of heavier than regular. Okay? Because if you don't use enough postage, it might not get where you want it to go. Just throwing that out there. Any hoots. Threading that ribbon through the end of the paper clip because it's a tag, so it needs some fluffy floofles. It's not on top in a hole, but it's in the notch on the side. Pearls. This one's getting pearls because it said so. It's handy to put a little glob of glue on the back of your hand like that. It's like they're right there in reach and you're not sticking your fingers in it. You might get it on your shirt, but if you're art and you're wearing art and clothes anyway, they already got stuff on it. Just say, or your pajamas. You could be wearing pajamas and it's got art stuff on it too. Just saying. Now, I start using my ATG, which is Advanced Tape Glider. It was a gift many years ago. I just have to buy replacement sticker tape inside. And sometimes it gives me problems, so I cut that part out. You're welcome. Here's my little instructions for the gameplay. Okay, because it's just to have fun, mostly. But let's do this, y'all. And like I said, this is kind of a group thing, but it's a wonderful idea, and I believe I learned it, the Jersey Crafter, I believe, talked about it. I don't know that she did it, but I think she got a tag booklet from somebody and shared it on. So here's that blank. See, the envelope is blank, and I'm putting a stamp on it. So when I send it to the next person, they don't have to put a stamp to mail it, even though I asked them to put a blank stamped envelope in it. So they are just spending one stamp. That makes sense? Okay. There's the tags. There's going to be a short photo montage coming up. Don't forget to check out the group. Join if you've not joined. I don't remember if there's any questions. If there's questions, answer them truthfully and honestly to the best of your abilities. So, get ready. Photo montage. Hashtag JustJoin. Hashtag AJOS. Hashtag JustJoin AJOS. See how I slid that in there? I appreciate each and every one of you. Your kind comments, your likes, your shares, and your subscriptions. Thanks for watching, and happy arting, y'all!